those temperatures really effectively. We'll make our way up into the low 60s. I think 63 is where we end up at as for a high today, and it's going to feel pretty nice for us. That's above average. Average highs mid-50s this time of year. Now, once we get to the afternoon, we'll start to add a little more cloud cover to the equation, and that will especially be the case as we get our way towards sunset. You'll really start to notice those clouds. May actually be a pretty nice sunset that we end up seeing with that combination of the incoming clouds and a little bit of sunshine still remaining. That's an opportune time for those clouds to arrive. That'll keep us from dropping off quite as drastically as we make our way into the overnight. Let's walk through it. Clear sky through the morning. Here come a few clouds by midday, and it'll take a little bit of time for those to really take over, but you'll notice once we get right around 5 o'clock, we really start to see the clouds come in full force, and that will be the case into the overnight hours. Now again, that's going to keep us from dropping off all that far overnight. Expect to start right near the mid-40s as we get into our Tuesday morning, and there they go. They're on the way out. As the time we're already starting off our Tuesday, we're getting rid of the clouds. So that means a really nice day for our Tuesday, where we have the clouds exiting right around the morning commute time frame. They serve their purpose of keeping us warmer overnight and then leave in time to give us a nice sunny Tuesday. We'll be right near 70 degrees for our high. Yes, right near 70 degrees for our high. It's going to be a really pleasant day. So mild air, the theme over the next couple of days. Now, you know how it works this time of year. That is not going to be something that sticks around. We get a little bit of a drop backward on Wednesday. We're talking about mid to upper 50s for our high, and a little more wind being a factor. At least we'll be sunny as we make our way into our Wednesday afternoon. So if that's the worst day that we have the next couple, right? That's not bad.
Okay, well, that's the question. So we hit that 70, then 57. Are we going to see the temperatures continue to go down?
Well, thankfully, no. Oh. We're actually going to have a nice recovery back. It won't be like that, but we're going to start warming things up. What we won't lose, though, is the wind as we get into our Thursday, Friday. That's going to be a factor. That kind of helps to keep us from dropping off at night. So we keep mild temperatures at night, and you notice we don't really see a return to freeze territory until we get to our Sunday night, or Sunday morning, I should say. That's a pretty good spell of not having those kind of temperatures. And during the day, we're talking 60s for highs for Thursday and Friday. So a return back to some warmer weather by the time we get there. Let me show you the 10-day forecast. You can kind of get the full scope of what's going on. You're also probably noticing that I'm not mentioning anything about any kind of rain in the forecast. We have to get all the way to Friday night before we see a chance, and there's not a lot of moisture with that one, so it would be spotty showers that we'd see Friday night into our Saturday morning. Doesn't even really affect our temperatures all that much with that one. So there's the 60s that we see for our highs. There's the drop-off that we do get, though. That comes Saturday night into Sunday. We get a stronger cold front. That one does look dry at this point, but it does stir the winds up quite a bit and pull us down into the upper 40s for highs, so that won't feel quite as pleasant. That one also not looking like it sticks around all that far, but we'll talk a little bit more about just how much wind we're looking at with each of those days. You're seeing a lot of icons on there, breezy, windy. We'll talk about some of those wind speeds here in just a bit.
Okay, it's going to update on traffic and how the road's looking. Earlier, you were starting to worry us.
Yeah, we're starting to get some crash reports that are coming in. And I have some small concerns this morning that the fact that we are seeing that time change impact things, that puts the sun right in the eyes of those eastbound drivers as we get into the peak of the commute. So I'm not saying that's a factor in what we're seeing out there, but it is something you want to consider as you are heading out the door. Let's get the update on those crashes, though. And this is at the exit to 144th or Highway 50 on westbound I-80. Thankfully, we've quickly gotten all of those vehicles pushed over on the shoulder, but look at how many we have there. There's maybe 3-4 vehicles that were involved in that crash. So that's a scene you want to watch out for. Probably going to be a little slow as you're making your way to this stretch with all the flashing lights, and still have a little bit of some traffic control happening as you're getting near that exit. So there's the delays that you're seeing as you go westbound I-80. Be ready for that as you get right around Highway 50 exit. Unfortunately, that's not the only crash. We have another one. This is on the right shoulder as well, southbound Highway 75. As you're getting right near the Highway 34 exit, this is just before you get to the Platte River. So as you're nearing Plattsmouth is where you see this one. And it's actually just past the exit ramp that you see that on the right shoulder. Watch for that. That's not impacting traffic flow too greatly, so that's good news. A little further up the road, I've been watching this too. There's some lingering nighttime construction on the JFK southbound right around 370. And The cones have been getting moved right around the stretch, so we should see this start to improve soon. But if you're just about to head out the door and you're going to end up in this area in the next 5 minutes or so, you want to be ready for it to be a little slower in that stretch. Aside from that, it's doing pretty well. You can see that it's not too much in the way of delays, but here's what I mean when I'm talking about the sunlight. See that on Dodge? We're starting to get the flare up in the delays a little bit earlier than usual. And I think that's a visibility problem. So eastbound Dodge right around 144th back toward 180th. Wouldn't surprise me if eastbound I-80 approaching 84th starts to slow down and Highway 370 approaching I-80. Those are all roads that really have sun glare issues in this time of year. So we'll see if that ends up being a big factor for us. And hopefully I'm not. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Jared.
Yes.
To our news now. Happening today, the Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission is set to meet. Among the items on the agenda, going over 2 grower applications. The commission was supposed to get the licenses approved by the start of November. They were unable to after 2 members of the Liquor Commission, who also served on the Nebraska Medical Commission, resigned at the request of the governor. The commission is allowing 4 growers. Only 2 have been approved so far.
They just kind of were like, hey, he shouldn't be out there. So I told Dylan, I love you too much to ask you to play when you're hurt like this.
A significant setback to a key piece of Husker football's resurgence in the last couple of seasons. Nebraska will be without its starting quarterback for the rest of the season.
It's a story that our Sports on 6 team has been following closely ever since he needed help off the field Saturday. Head coach Matt Rule via Nebraska Athletics confirms that Raiola has a lower leg injury that will sideline him for the rest of the season. His update following an ESPN report indicating that Raiola had a broken fibula. The injury came after a sack in the 3rd quarter of the Huskers' 21-17 loss against USC. Raiola responding to the season-ending injury on social media, citing a Bible verse. He described the injury as a, quote, just a small bump in the road to a beautiful journey back to playing the game that I love, end quote. Raiola ends his sophomore season throwing for exactly 2,000 yards with 18 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. True freshman TJ Lateef will take on as the quarterback.
All right. Aaron, thank you. Here at the safety desk with Maria Kate. If you snore, if you know someone who does, listen up. Snoring could actually be dangerous for your brain. Maria's here to tell us about this new study.
Yeah, researchers are connecting sleep apnea with actually having small bleeds in your brain. So according to that study, those bleeds could actually raise the risk of having dementia too. So researchers say the worse the sleep apnea, the higher the likelihood of having those microbleeds. Doctors are reminding patients that quality sleep is so essential for your brain health. If you wake up tired or your partner hears you gasping, it's time to get checked out. Head to your doctor. So scientists are now trying to see if treating that sleep apnea earlier on in life could help to prevent dementia later on in life.
Yeah, that would be cool to find out.
Another thing to look into.
For sure. Maria Kate at the safety desk this morning. Maria, thank you. And we'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back on this Monday morning, taking a live look outside. Nice shot overlooking the Midtown and the downtown
Protect your
areas.
helmet.
You see that thing kind of in the right corner? Well, that's the sun.
Oh, yeah.
It is sun if you're heading east. Be careful. You're going to want to have the sunglasses with you. Put the visor down in your car because the sunshine's going to be really bright this morning.
Yeah, it definitely will be. So that's one of the negative sides of what we have. The good news is it's going to help us warm up as the day goes on, and we're going to look at a lot of sunshine, not just today, but as we head into tomorrow too. Let's talk about how that stays with us. Right now it's pretty chilly despite that sunshine. 35 is our temperature, feels like 30. You want to dress warm out the door in addition to having those sunglasses that Aaron was mentioning. As we go through the day, we'll get the boost from the sunshine and end up into the low 60s for our high. It's going to be a really pleasant day, a little bit warmer than where we were yesterday, and not all that much in the way of wind either. So good day that we have today. We'll keep the mild weather going as we head into tomorrow as well. And with the dry weather that we're going to have the next several days, it's a good opportunity to get the car washed if maybe you haven't done that in the last few days. It's going to be a good opportunity to get that done. We go through the next few days. There's what we talk about for tomorrow. Isn't that very nice? 70 degrees for our high. And even where we get some dips in those temperatures, we're talking about still above average. 56 is our average high for this time of year. And Wednesday's the coolest of the days this week, where we're just a little bit above that average. Nighttime temps not dipping all that much either. Tonight we get help from the cloud cover that comes in after sunset. That'll give us a start in the mid 40s. Help to accelerate that warming for tomorrow. And then we get some wind as a factor over the next part of the week that will keep us from getting too cool. And here's what those lows look like. A lot of 40s on the way for where we end up starting our days. That's pretty warm for this time of year and puts us not even really too much in frost territory through much of the week. We have to go all the way to Sunday morning before we get our next sign of getting into frost or freeze territory with that next push of colder air. So what's the downside the next few days? Sounds like it's a pretty nice forecast. Well, the wind will get a little more active. Not so much today, and tomorrow we'll notice it a little bit more, but we're still talking 10 to 20 mile per hour winds. So it's going to be a breeze that helps to warm us up to that 70 degree mark. It's more Wednesday where we start to get some gusts that could get 20, 25 miles per hour out of the north. For Thursday, we'll turn the direction but keep the speed, so we'll have gusts up around 25 miles per hour there. And again, we'll turn the direction to the northwest for Friday with gusts again near 25 miles per hour. So several breezy days. If you've been around here for a while, you are used to that being a factor for us during the fall, but that is going to be revisited over the course of the back half of the work week, and especially the weekend. We get to Saturday, we get a front that comes through, and it's going to cool us down for our temps on Sunday. It's really going to stir the winds up Saturday. Gusts that could get 30, 35 miles per hour to the northwest during the day. Could get a few gusts up around 40 miles per hour as we're going through the nighttime hours, and we're still looking at 30 mile per hour gusts by the time we get to our Sunday afternoon and into the evening. And with temperatures running a little cooler, that's not going to feel real pleasant. We could have a whole lot worse than that, but it's going to be a forecast that goes a little bit differently in the second half of the weekend from what you see here over those next 5 days, which is some really mild weather both in the day and during the nighttime.
All right, so I know you and Rusty first alerted us to a very nice start to November. You're talking about some changes. Will that continue? Will the nice weather continue after those changes, or what? It's hard to say. Is it?
The good news is it's kind of a short-lived dip that we see.
Okay.
So just enough to remind us what month it actually is and what it's capable of. Because once you get past those couple of days there, Sunday, Monday, where it's a little cooler, we start warming things up again. And it's even showing some signs that we get up maybe in the mid-60s by the time we get to the back half of next week. And when you look forward, it's warmer than average, looking very likely for most of the country, including us, into mid-November. So you just are going to be enjoying a whole lot of nice weather here as we're going through the first half of November, it looks like.
Yeah, no complaints for me.
I feel like I'm going to hold on to you saying that because we'll know in about a month you're not going to be saying that anymore.
You know, the days are ticking as far as this kind of weather, so enjoy it while it's here.
For sure. Jared, thanks. We do have an update to breaking news that we have been following. A teenager is dead after a shooting on Halloween night. So this happened near 36th and Polk. Omaha police found the 17-year-old boy on the ground found outside a large house party suffering from a gunshot wound. Well, he died at the hospital. The investigation into potential suspects this morning is ongoing. Police believe there should be a large number of witnesses.
Well, a person was rushed to the hospital after this weekend stabbing. This happened near 108th and Fort early Saturday. According to authorities, the victim's wounds are not believed to be life-threatening. So far, no word about what caused the incident.
We are now entering day 34 of the government shutdown. A message on Nebraska's official DHHS website has resulted in a lawsuit.
Now, the message blames Democrats for the shutdown, saying they're using Nebraska's most vulnerable for political leverage. Lancaster County resident Kay Siebler filed the lawsuit, telling our sister station in Lincoln the message is despicable and illegal.
These people who purport to be Catholic, who purport to be Christian, who purport to be pro-life, they are causing this suffering, and it's hypocritical, it's despicable, and it's illegal.
Well, Siebler said her first priority would be getting SNAP benefits reinstated, but at the very least, she says the department should be required to remove the message from their website.
Happening this week, Hy-Vee is offering some assistance with the state of SNAP benefits still in limbo. So today through Friday, Hy-Vee stores with hot food service will offer free kids meals. Those with children 12 and under can stop by. The hours are from 3 to 7 in the evening for dinner. Everyone else can get that same meal for $3. You can also buy food bank donation bundles at Hy-Vee. Those will go to local pantries. We're back after this. Well, it is beginning to look a lot like Christmas in Chicago.
Macy's kicked off the holiday season on Saturday with the 118th annual Great Tree Lighting. Just one day after Halloween, we're getting right into it. The massive 3,000-pound tree stands 45 feet tall. It actually hangs from the ceiling, too, with each section decorated from the top down.
Look at that.
That's really
it's
pretty.
Beautiful.
All right, speaking of Macy's, we have a look at some new balloons. They'll be flying over the streets of the Manhattan area on Thanksgiving Day.
Yes, so volunteer handlers did a test run Saturday in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This will be the 99th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Some of the balloons that will be included, okay, this isn't the right video, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Mario, Pac-Man, Buzz Lightyear, Shrek, and they will be as tall as the 3- and 4-story buildings. Of course, you can see all the balloons, the new, the old, the classics of the Macy's Day Parade, Macy's.com. And that's going to be right here on Thanksgiving morning, starting at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Do you guys watch?
It's tradition.
Yeah. Do you watch?
It's so cool when you see it. Hopefully we can keep the wind down because you get the winds too strong.
That wind gives those things a fit, don't they?
Yeah, that's a problem sometimes, but that's not going to be a problem this year, right?
Well,
No,
It's not.
We're not manifesting it.
Nope.
we just don't know. All right. Thanks for joining us this Monday morning. We're going to get ready for our update in today's show. You can watch it here on streaming or over the air.
Have a great start to your Monday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Monday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Ann Hartley. Let's get an update on the weather forecast and the roads this morning with Jarrett Lansford.
And let's start with what our traffic is looking like. First alert to a few crashes that are causing problems. That includes this one. This is Dodge right at the 150th exit as you're going eastbound. You can see the flashing lights there at the exit ramp. So watch for that, possibly causing some delays in that area. There's what it looks like, and you can see how slow the travel is on eastbound Dodge with that, and probably some sun glare too this morning. It's going to be a slow go of it through that stretch. We also have a crash at the exit to Highway 50 from westbound I-80. That ramp is blocked on the shoulders. A crash southbound Highway 75 near Highway 34 just before the Platte River, and quite the delays on westbound I-80 as you're getting near 84th. Watch for these issues that we're seeing pop up this morning. Hopefully we can limit those. The weather, at least, is less of an issue. A little bit of a chill in the air as we start things off, but with that sunshine that you're seeing, that should help to boost us pretty quickly. 35 where we're at, feels like 30, so not real warm in the early going, but that light wind that we have is going to stay light through the course of the day. We'll go from those temperatures that are sitting in the 30s and are actually a little warmer than yesterday morning, all the way up to the low 60s and be a few degrees warmer than our high yesterday as well. We'll keep sunshine for much of the day. A little bit of cloud cover does arrive right around sunset, but not enough to cause us any kind of problems for our daytime hours. It's going to be a pretty pleasant one. And tomorrow, we even get near 70 degrees for our high as we look at some pretty mild weather sticking with us all through the first week of November. Aaron.
Jared, thank you. The Nebraska Medical Cannabis Commission is meeting today. Among the items on the agenda, going over 2 grower applications. The commission was supposed to get the licenses approved by the start of October.
Well, it is 7:28. We're back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.